Hello, my Zentangle friends. This is Barbara Langston, CZT, Certified Zentangle Teacher, and I hope you're doing well. I'm grateful to be here. I'm also always grateful to have the opportunity to teach. It's been a busy beginning of the summer for me, which is why I haven't taught anything for the last week or so. Babysitting my youngest granddaughters and then taking another granddaughter to and from summer school. But I have a 3-day weekend. Woohoo! I'm grateful for that for sure. All right, so this is what I'm going to teach you today, and it's an odd combination of tangles, but it is 2 new patterns that have come out at the Tangle Patterns website. The one in the center here is called Well-T, and it's by Pilar Pulido, and she's a CZT. And I've been wanting to teach this one by Alan Quincey, and it's called Wriggle. And I thought, well, I'll just see how it looks on the outside of this pattern, and it's different, but it's fun. And it gives me a chance to teach it to you. So that's what we're going to do. I want to show you, this is Welty done on a piece of craft paper that I have cut. This is so that it can go in my disc bound system. But I'm going to do it today on a white tile that I have also cut for my disc bound system. And I want to go ahead and show you the step outs, and I may have to zoom out to see this. Maybe not. Well, a little bit, because I think as I start doing this, it'll make more sense why I'm doing it. We're going to do these little orbs, and then I happened to miss this in her first step out when I didn't see that she had put these dots, and I thought, well, dots would have really helped, and they do, because we're doing this similar to Huggins, but it kind of flip-flops back and forth. Then you end up with this really pretty floral type pattern there, and I really enjoy putting the little hatching on mine, and so we'll end up doing that too. So we're going to start with this. We're going to put 9 circles, and we're going to try to make them even, but if they're not, it doesn't matter. So kind of find the center of your tile, and let's put 9 little orbs or circles in there. And you can make them as big as you would like. And I may be making these kind of small compared to what I did here, but you'll still get the idea. So the same distance I have between these, I want to try to have going down. Okay. One more row. And this is kind of a grid tangle. You could call it a grid. So you could fill this whole tile with it if you wanted to. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is put a little dot right there in the center of these groups of orbs. And that's really important to help you gauge where you're going to put your next lines. And like I said, it's similar to Huggins in that we're going to take off from the top of this orb. We're going to go to that center and then land at the bottom of that orb. And then we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Start at the top, kind of take off, just touch that one, and then come down to the bottom. Okay, and here we're going to do just the opposite. So I'm going to turn, take off from here. We're going to land the bottom of this orb. Do the same thing on this side, just touch that one and come back down. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. Since we've got it turned the right way, we're going to come down to this one because it's going to be the opposite of the one that we did here. I'm going to take off, touch that dot, come back in. Same thing on the other side. And then I'm going to turn it, touch and come down, touch and come down. All right, so now we've gone all the way to here. Now we're going to turn these little center parts into like rice kernels or petals. It's going to be more like petals. But we're going to have those petals meet right here at this center where we had that dot. So from your little orbs, it's going to touch the center from the side of the orb and then back down to that one. Okay, I'm going to come up to this one and do it since it's turned that way. Start at that corner, come to the center, and then I'm going to come back down. Have a petal there. Same thing on this side. Start at the orb. Okay. We're going to turn and do the same thing inside these orbs. Start at that corner, meet in the middle where that dot was. Come down to this orb. Same thing on the other side. Okay, so now we've done almost all of them. And I'm trying to make them the same size, but I haven't done it yet. But it still ends up really pretty. Okay, so we have finished that step. The next step is to connect these flowers. And our connection goes between the centers where we don't have the orbs. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. See, we're not putting that rice shape touching the orbs again. We're connecting between the sections, like here. All right, we're connecting between these sections that don't touch the dots. So hopefully that makes sense. Don't touch the orbs, rather. So another little rice shape there in the center. And then I'm going to come down below that and just go ahead and put another one that doesn't connect to anything. And same up at the top. Now, if you had a bigger grid, you would be connecting to another flower. Okay, here's another center part. We're not going to touch the orbs. We're going to do this between these two little petals here. And then we're going to come down again and go down. Come up to this one and back down. And I did forget to mention, I am just using a micron. This happens to be an 03. That's what I pulled out. And then I'll just be using a graphite pencil and a blending stump. Okay, so I'm going to turn my tile. And here again, we have that section that does not have the orbs. We're going to connect. And then we're going to put another little petal at the bottom and another little petal at the top. Same thing here. This is where the orbs are, so we want to go in this direction. And I'm emphasizing that because it helped me once I started practicing this pattern. It helped me to recognize that. Okay, so basically there, the pattern is finished, but there's other things that you can do. Like on this one, I put another little aura inside and filled those in. And I'm going to go ahead and do that on this one. So just inside these little triangles, I'm going to put a little bit of an orb, not an orb, I'm sorry, an aura, and fill that in. Let's do one here, and that gives us a little bit of drama. Okay, here's another area where we can put that little triangle. I'm not going to do it where this is open. I'm only doing it where this is a little closed area between our petals. Okay, so we just end up with a few. Oops, I do have two more. Since we've got 4 of these, we should have 8 of these little auras inside. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do is, like I did here, I'm going to put an aura all around the outside of this. And I actually did mean for this to be a little bit bigger, but it's okay. So I hope you're having a happy summer. I am in the Houston, Galveston, Texas area. It is hot and humid. And so I'm happy to be inside doing art. My grandchildren love to be outside, especially the 5-year-old. But the mosquitoes just love to eat her up. And then wherever they bite her, she swells up. So bless her heart. She doesn't always want to have the mosquito repellent on her skin. But we're trying to find something that works. Okay. So the other thing I want to do is to put the little hatching lines like this, because I think it adds some nice drama, especially when we're just using black on a white tile. But I do enjoy the classic Zentangle tiles, just black and white. So I'm just going to quickly add these little hatching lines. And I'm probably not calling it the right thing. But these little details. And I'm kind of just skipping around, but that happens to be how I work. No real plans. If you happen to get the Zentangle newsletter, or just go to tanglepatterns.com, and one of the latest links, she has the information for a podcast that Rick and Maria did with a gentleman. And towards the end of that podcast, they really start talking about the Zentangle method and how important it is to not worry about an outcome. Just enjoy one stroke at a time. The basic theory behind the Zentangle method. And when you stop worrying about the outcome, just like with this one, I was worried that this would be kind of weird to do those two patterns together, but I did it anyway, and I'm showing it to you just because you can learn these patterns, you can put them together, or you can use them on any other art that you're doing. So I let go of the worry and just do one line at a time and have fun. This is not a contest. We're not being graded. The only person you want to grade is yourself. Compare your art today to your art a week ago, a month ago, a year ago. Are you improving? Are you enjoying it more? That's really all that matters. Just enjoy what you're doing. And I don't do a lot of, complicated tiles or patterns because it's just not what I enjoy anymore, at least at my age and at this time right now with a lot of work, babysitting grandkids. I like something that's just going to help me relax. Okay, so there we go. You could darken in these circles or just leave them. I'm going to leave them as they are. And now we're going to put Wriggle around it. And if you go to the tanglepatterns.com website and find this pattern, you'll see that he does this for the step outs. Okay, but then in the example tile that he gives, all of his flowers look like this. So I put them both. And I did want to say that Alan Quincey is the father of Joanne Quincey. She has a website called Zenjo, Zenjo, and also her Facebook is either Joanna Quincey or Zenjo. And her father, Alan, knew Maria Thomas because they were both calligraphers. And he was from the UK and she's from the US. And they knew each other, and she sent him a link years ago to say, hey, look what I've done. But he didn't have the internet. Finally, he did, and he showed it to Joanna. Joanna became a CZT. And then at the age of 90, just last year, at the first online CZT seminar, he became a CZT at the age of 90. Pretty amazing, huh? Okay, sorry. So that was kind of a long explanation, but this is a fun pattern. I want to try to keep it where you can see it. Let me zoom out. Oops, sorry. What just happened? Okay. So to zoom out just a little bit so I can kind of keep this where you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to start with just one of these to begin with. And he comes up and you add this little orb at the top of your stem. And then you have another one that comes up parallel to it. And add your little orbs again. And then we're going to aura this. Kind of dips into the center. And come around and come back up. And then there's an orb at the top. Another couple of little orbs. And then some little stems with little balls at the end coming up. Okay. So very easy to do. You can add little details as you want. Okay, we're going to have another one come out. Darken it in. Okay. And we're going to put our little aura around the top. An orb, large orb, and then two smaller orbs or perfs, however you want to call it. And then you can put however many of these little antenna-like things. And then we'll decorate a little. One thing he does if he has them touching is he puts a little bit of filling that in and maybe a couple of lines, but that's however you want to do it. Okay, I'm going to flip and go to the other side and basically just do the same thing. Have this one come up. Do my little orb. Put our aura on the top. I think these are really cute and they're fun. We could have one come across this way. So we're going behind. I really enjoy playing with floral type patterns, and to me this is kind of floral. A little swirl. On some of these he puts a little fescue, but I think that's mostly on the ones like that, so we'll just wait on that. Okay, I'm going to do at least one on each side of this center pattern that are done the way that his step out looks, and then we'll do the other ones. And let's put one over here. And yes, when I'm concentrating, I don't do a lot of talking. All right, so see a tiny bit. There we go. So we have a little bit of that original pattern on both sides. And now we're going to do this one. And this one reminds me of one that Maria did some time back that she called Easy Muka. And for that, she did the fescue type stem like this, and then just brought it around like that, and then she called that Easy Muka. But he also adds petals at the top of this, and then some little lines inside. Okay. And let's see, let's do another one coming out this way. And we're going to have it come around like this. Trying to get my hand out of the way. So just a stem. And then we're going to go at the bottom of that top part, come back around. And then we're going to add our little petals. You can make them whatever size you want. And then I'm going to have one come over this way. And where it meets, you can just kind of fill that in a little bit. And add our petals on the top. Could add a little fescue here and there. All right, let's go to this side and add some more. So I'm going to have this one curl around a little bit. Do your aura. Come back around. And then have one come this way. We're going to have that meet in the middle. Do our petals. All right, let's see what we've got. All right. I think I'll put one in here. And make this one spiral in a little bit. And then do our aura. put our little cap on here. Okay, I think we're good on that. Excuse me. So now I'm going to do the shading. So I have my Zentangle graphite pencil and a blending stump. And for the center part, I'm going to add a little bit of graphite just toward the center here. I don't want to put too much on what's in the very middle because it kind of dulls your pen lines, but just a little bit on each of these petals. And that's so that I can blend it toward the center. So I'm just going around the outside here. Okay. I think I've got, no, it didn't do this one. Okay, now I'm going to take my blending stump. I actually got the wrong one. Sorry about that. Because this one says purple. So I want to get my black one. Okay, so this one's black. And I've got a nice edge to it. And then I'm just going to soften this all the way around, but I'm leaving this area right here white. I'm not going to put graphite all the way through the center. And that gives us a nice highlight. Makes it look like the petal is bending a little bit. And this is my favorite way to do petals. So if you've watched my videos, you know I do this a lot. So do what you're comfortable with. Do what you like on your art. And if you ever want to try something different, then do what I call what if. What if I change it one way or another? How will it look? And then just enjoy the outcome. Okay, I think I got all of those. All right. And now the only thing I'm going to shade out here is if one goes over and under another, like this. A little bit of shading there. And then where I have these petals, I'm going to put a little bit of shading right at the base of those petals. And then I'm just going to soften those a little at the bottom. Keep the tips white. Okay. And then I think I'm going to add just a few more of the little fescues like this. And plus I've got some spots that I didn't really fill in. Okay, so where I have these, just add a couple of little fescues. And maybe some little spirals here and there. And you could even have a little fescue coming in from this part. So just to kind of fill it in a little bit where it might look like it needs something. All right. Okay, I think I'm done. I'm going to put my chalk down here. And you know, one thing I forget to mention is when you have finished, if you're not sure about it, number one, hold it at a distance and look at it again at arm's length. And then come back and look at it again later. I mean, there's a lot of times when I've pulled a tile out that I thought I didn't like. And when I come back to it, one of my first questions is, did I do that? I'll look to see if I have my chop on it. And sometimes I surprise myself because I didn't like it. And now I do. That's the surprise. So anyway, so there we go. That is Welty with Wriggle. And again, this is one that I did on a pre-colored tile and one that I did on a craft colored tile. All right, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope it wasn't too odd of a combination. Have fun with it, and let me know what you think. I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you next time I have a free day. Thank you. Bye.